Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at luxury branding and business strategies.
Ooh.
Some of those fascinating tactics that make brands like Louis Vuitton or even Chick-Fil-A really these huge giants in their own spaces.
Absolutely.
And we've got a bunch of YouTube videos we're going to be looking at today, kind of dissecting some of these marketing and business tactics
Yeah.
from all kinds of companies. Have you ever wondered how those brands, how they just seem to have that Midas touch, everything they do turns to gold.
Right.
So we'll be looking at some unexpected strategies today, and I think you'll be surprised by some of the things we find.
Yeah, and what I find fascinating is how the principles that drive these, seemingly exclusive strategies can actually be applied, across industries and business models.
Right.
It's really all about understanding the underlying psychology and then adapting it to your own context.
I think you're right. So let's dive in. We'll start by taking a peek into the world of luxury.
Okay.
Those brands that just scream elegance, exclusivity, and let's be honest, a pretty hefty price tag. One of our sources, Sabri Subi, he's a marketing guru. He actually went undercover as a mystery shopper.
Wow.
At Louis Vuitton. And his experience was pretty eye-opening, to say the least.
Yeah, it really highlights how these brands cultivate that aura of desire, that exclusivity. It's not just about the product itself. It's the whole experience.
Yeah, he talks about how they intentionally limit stock, creating those legendary waiting lists.
Right.
Like remember trying to get a Birkin bag. It's like a mythical quest.
It's a perfect example of what Seth Godin, another one of the sources we're looking at, calls manipulating systems.
Okay.
Right? These luxury brands, they understand that desirability often stems from scarcity. They're not just selling a product, they're selling access, right, to this coveted club. They're playing on a pre-existing system of desire and status.
That makes sense. And this idea isn't just limited to luxury fashion either.
No, not at all.
Godin actually uses Apple as an example. Remember the frenzy around each new iPhone release?
Oh, yeah.
People camping out overnight, lines wrapping around city blocks.
Totally. That sense of urgency, the limited availability, taps into our fear of missing out, and it just drives the demand through the roof by making their products feel exclusive, hard to get.
Right.
They're essentially creating their own market.
It's not even just about the product itself. It's crafting this perception of exclusivity.
Absolutely.
But what about the premium pricing? We're talking about a Dior tote bag that costs $57 to produce.
Wow.
And it retails for $3,500.
That's a staggering difference.
How do they justify that kind of markup?
Well, Godin argues that to command those premium prices, you have to offer a premium experience.
Okay.
Think about the personalized service you get at a luxury boutique, Those attentive sales associates, the beautifully packaged purchases, that feeling of being pampered,
And value.
And Sabri Subi, actually, he advises businesses to double their prices.
Really?
To position themselves as premium.
Interesting.
He says price is a story, not a number.
Okay.
But it's not just about, putting a high price tag on something.
You got it. You need to provide an exceptional experience that justifies that price. Think about the details, the quality of the materials, the craftsmanship, the after-sales service.
Right.
It's about exceeding expectations and creating that lasting impression.
It really makes you think about what value means, right?
Yeah. What are you willing to pay a premium for? Is it the quality? Is it the experience? Is it the brand name? Or is it some kind of combination of all those?
Yeah, it's a question worth pondering. We often associate, higher prices with higher value, but what truly defines value for you? It's a personal equation that these luxury brands are masters at influencing.
Okay, so we've seen how luxury brands create that air of exclusivity and how they justify those really high prices.
Right.
But can these strategies work for businesses that aren't selling, high-end fashion or tech gadgets?
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to explore next. We'll see how companies like Chick-Fil-A and Trader Joe's, who, operate in very different markets, apply these principles to achieve remarkable success.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Let's dive in. All right. So we've been talking about luxury brands and how they create that allure, that exclusivity.
Right.
But let's kind of shift gears a little bit here. And look at how some unexpected players are using kind of similar strategies to reach massive success.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd be drawing parallels between like Louis Vuitton and Chick-fil-A?
It really is, a testament to how certain principles they transcend industry boundaries.
Right.
For example, both Chick-fil-A and Trader Joe's, even though they're in completely different markets,
Right.
they both demonstrate the power of focusing on a niche.
That's right. Chick-fil-A, they have a notoriously limited menu.
Yeah.
And yet they've built this incredibly loyal customer base.
Right.
People willing to wait in those infamously long lines.
I know.
Because they know they're getting a consistently good chicken sandwich.
It speaks to Godin's idea of the smallest viable audience.
Yeah.
By focusing on doing one thing exceptionally well.
Right.
These companies cultivate this really strong brand identity and deep customer loyalty.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Right.
They're catering to a specific audience with laser focus.
And Trader Joe's is another great example.
Yeah.
They have this curated selection of unique products that you won't find anywhere else.
Right. It's like a treasure hunt every time you walk in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that sense of discovery, the exclusivity, it keeps customers coming back for more.
Obviously coming back.
They're not just grocery shopping.
Right.
It's like they're engaging in a curated experience.
Absolutely.
It kind of makes you wonder if there's something to be said for simplicity and focus,
Right.
even in today's world,
All right.
with just endless options.
Totally. By focusing on a smaller range of products,
Yeah.
these companies can also manage costs better, right? And maintain quality.
Right.
They can streamline their operations and become true experts in their niche.
And speaking of doing things differently, both Primark and TJ Maxx are actually thriving in an era
I know.
where most retailers are like scrambling to build their online presence.
Yeah.
It's almost counterintuitive.
It is, but it's a brilliant example of,
Yeah.
choosing your battles, right?
Right.
Godin talks about, the importance of playing a different game than the competition. And while everybody else is focusing on e-commerce,
Right.
these brands have doubled down on the in-store experience.
TJ Maxx is all about that treasure hunt atmosphere.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to find.
Right.
And that's part of the appeal.
It's a shopping experience you just can't replicate online.
Right.
Yeah.
They're leveraging the power of impulse buys.
Yeah.
And that fear of missing out, right? When you're in the store,
Right.
surrounded by all those amazing deals,
Yeah.
you're more likely not to make a purchase. And Primark has intentionally chosen to stay a brick and mortar retailer.
Wow.
They're willing to accept lower margins to keep prices ridiculously low.
It's a bold strategy, but it's clearly working, right?
Yeah.
They're attracting a customer base that prioritizes value and enjoys that thrill of the in-store experience.
It's a good reminder that sometimes sticking to your core strengths and doing things your own way can be a winning strategy.
For sure.
Now let's talk about community building.
Okay.
Sephora's Beauty Insider program
Yeah.
is a masterclass in creating a loyal following.
They've truly embraced Godin's idea of building scaffolding to onboard and engage customers. Right. It's not just a rewards program. It's a community where beauty enthusiasts can connect, learn, share their passion.
It's about creating a sense of belonging, right?
Totally.
You feel like you're part of something special when you're a beauty insider.
And Sephora uses this program, to gather valuable data about customer preferences, which allows them to offer personalized recommendations and experiences.
Plus, they've been really intentional about promoting inclusivity.
Yeah.
Featuring diverse brands, catering to a wider range of customers.
Yeah, they're making sure everyone feels, seen and welcomed.
Right.
It's a smart move by reflecting the values of their target audience.
Yeah.
Sephora's building this strong community that goes beyond just, buying makeup.
It seems like creating that sense of community is key to fostering brand loyalty in today's market.
Absolutely. People want to feel like they're, part of something bigger
Right.
than just a transaction. They want to connect with brands that share their values and make them feel understood.
Now let's talk about adapting to change, which is something even the biggest companies struggle with.
Yeah.
Remember when Barnes& Noble was all about those giant superstores?
Yeah.
That model was hugely successful
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
Yeah.
But the rise of online retailers like Amazon really forced them to rethink their strategy.
And instead of clinging to the past,
Yeah.
they've made some really bold moves.
They have.
It's a great example of overcoming sunk costs, a concept Godin emphasizes. Sometimes you have to let go of what worked in the past to embrace new opportunities.
Barnes& Noble is now focusing on smaller, more localized bookstores.
That's right.
They're curating their selections to reflect local tastes, emphasizing that in-store experience, and even hosting community events.
They're essentially taking a page from the playbook of independent bookstores.
Right.
The very businesses they once outcompeted.
It's a fascinating turnaround.
It is.
They're proving that even established giants can adapt and reinvent themselves to stay relevant in a changing market.
Absolutely.
It seems like recognizing when to pivot is crucial for long-term success.
Absolutely. The business landscape is constantly evolving. And those who are willing to embrace change and adapt their strategies, those are the ones who are going to thrive.
All right. So we've seen how companies like Chick-fil-A, Trader Joe's, Primark, TJ Maxx, Sephora, and Barnes & Noble have all achieved success by applying some pretty unexpected strategies. They're challenging conventional wisdom and proving that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to business.
That's right. It's about understanding the underlying principles and adapting them to your specific context. What works for a luxury fashion brand might also work for a fast food chain or a bookstore, as long as you understand those core principles at play.
Okay, so we've seen how companies can find success by specializing, embracing that in-store experience and building a strong community.
Right.
But now let's talk about a concept that's becoming more and more important, I think, in today's digital age, building a content kingdom.
It's fascinating to see how companies are using content, not just as a marketing tool, but as a way to really create a whole ecosystem around their brand. And perhaps no one has done this more effectively than Lego.
Lego, you mean the company that makes those little plastic bricks? I wouldn't exactly think of them as a media empire.
Think again, Lego has actually been incredibly strategic.
Really?
About building this content empire that extends far beyond their core product.
Wow.
It started with Bionicle back in the early 2000s. They created this elaborate storyline, complete with comics, books, even movies.
Oh, wow.
All centered around these biomechanical creatures that were, built from Lego bricks.
Oh, I remember Bionicle.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with those as a kid. I never realized it was such an early example of their content strategy.
It was a brilliant move.
Yeah.
They created this whole new world, for kids to explore, and it all tied back to their core product, the Lego bricks.
And then they started incorporating, licensed properties like Star Wars and Marvel, creating, Lego versions of these beloved characters and stories.
Exactly. By tapping into the power of existing fandoms, Lego was able to reach new audiences and expand their market even further.
And who can forget the Lego movie? That was a massive hit. I never thought I'd see a Lego movie become a critical and commercial success.
It was a stroke of genius. They took this seemingly simple concept, a movie made entirely of Lego bricks, and turned it into this heartwarming, hilarious story that resonated with audiences of all ages.
So what's the key takeaway here? How is Lego using content to achieve such remarkable success?
Well, the key is that Lego uses content not as a replacement for their core product,
Okay.
but as a reinforcement.
Okay.
They're not trying to become, a movie studio
Yeah.
or a video game company. They're using content to enhance the value of their bricks,
Right.
creating this whole ecosystem of play and imagination.
So it's all about, creating this immersive experience that goes beyond just the physical product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kids who watch the Lego movies, play the Lego video games,
Mhm.
they're more likely to want to buy the Lego sets and build their own creations. It's this brilliant cycle of reinforcement.
It's amazing how Lego has managed to stay relevant
I know.
and even thrive
Yeah.
in a world that's increasingly dominated by digital entertainment.
It's a testament to their ability to adapt
Hmm.
and innovate while staying true to their core strengths.
Speaking of staying true to your core strengths,
Yeah.
let's talk about Domino's.
Okay.
They've become synonymous with pizza delivery and for good reason.
They've been masters of innovation, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the delivery space. Remember their iconic 30 minutes or less guarantee?
Oh, that was legendary.
Okay.
It really set the standard for fast and efficient pizza delivery.
It's incredible to think that Domino's was already pioneering
Wow.
the delivery game back in the 1960s.
What?
They were way ahead of the curve.
And they've always been incredibly focused on speed and efficiency. They meticulously designed their supply chain.
Yeah.
Embraced online ordering early on.
Mm-hmm.
And even experimented with crazy delivery methods.
Oh, yeah.
Like helicopters.
They even invented the corrugated pizza box,
Really?
which keeps pizzas hotter and prevents them from getting soggy.
Right.
That level of dedication to the delivery experience is remarkable.
But now Domino's is facing a new challenge.
Yeah.
The rise of third-party delivery services.
Right.
Like Uber Eats and DoorDash.
It's a whole new landscape.
Yeah.
Customers now have more options than ever before,
Right.
and Domino's is having to adapt
Yeah.
to maintain its delivery edge.
It seems like they're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Do they stick to their guns and focus solely on their own delivery network?
Right.
Or do they partner with these third-party services?
That's a tough decision, On the one hand, partnering with these services would allow them to reach, a wider audience, tap into a new customer base.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, it could dilute their brand.
Right.
Make it harder to control that delivery experience.
It'll be interesting to see how Domino's navigates this changing landscape.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like a classic case of having to adapt to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. The business world is constantly evolving, and companies that can anticipate and respond to
Right.
these changes, those are the ones that are going to succeed in the long run.
So what can we learn from all these examples? What are the key takeaways we can apply to our own businesses, or even just our lives in general?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to success, right? What works for one company might not work for another. It's about understanding those underlying principles
Right.
and adapting them to your own context.
So it's not about copying what others are doing.
Right.
It's about understanding why they're doing it,
Yeah,
and then figuring out how to apply those principles
exactly.
to your own unique situation.
It's about thinking strategically,
Right.
being willing to experiment and constantly learning and adapting.
I think that's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of branding and business strategies. We covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
From the psychology of luxury
Yeah.
to the power of content
Yeah.
and the importance of adapting to change.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating journey. Hopefully you've gained some valuable insights that you can apply to your own endeavors.
Yeah. Remember, whether you're building a business, pursuing a passion, or just We're just navigating the complexities of the modern world. Understanding strategy is key.
That's right.
So stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
And most importantly, remember to always stay true to your core strength.
That's it for this deep dive. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on our next deep dive into a fascinating new topic. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you? What questions do you have? Share your insights with us, and let's keep the conversation going.